Hey there, horror fans. Today we are going through a 2018 Indian horror fantasy movie called Tumbad. I must say that this movie is a gem in the horror movies genre because it just pulls you in with the cinematography, background scores, acting, and suspense, which keeps you hooked throughout. The title of the movie, Tumbad, is the name of a village in Maharashtra where the story takes place. Without wasting any more time, let's get into the story. In the initial few minutes of the movie, we see an animation with voiceover which explains about the mythology of the goddess of prosperity. She is believed to be the source of all food and wealth, and she also gave birth to numerous gods. Among all, she loved her first child Hastar the most, but Hastar was a greedy god. He wanted all the food and wealth for himself. He somehow managed to steal all the wealth from the goddess, but as soon as he laid a finger on the food, all gods attacked him. Hastar was defeated, but right before he could have been destroyed, the goddess stepped in to save him on two conditions. One, that Hastar shall no longer be worshipped as god, and two, he'll be deprived of food. Hastar retreated with the curse, and the world forgot about him until one day someone built a shrine for Hastar in the village of Tumbad. The wrath of God fell as rain, and it has been raining in Tumbad ever since. Right after the animation part starts the chapter 1, which takes place in the year 1918. We see a lady entering a mansion and getting physically intimate with an old man called Sarkar. She intends to get a gold coin which is placed on a shrine. Yes, the shrine of Hastar. The scene cuts to show the outside of a cottage over a hill where the kids of that lady are waiting for her return. After waiting for quite some time, the elder one, Vinayak, starts cooking food for an old lady who is kept captive in the cottage. Right when the kids are about to enter the old lady's room, their mother enters the cottage and stops them. Well, for some reason, she doesn't want her kids to get anywhere near that room and carries the food to the old lady herself. Inside the room, we get a glimpse of the old lady's leg, which appears to be inhuman and rotting. Through the conversation between Vinayak and his mother, we learn two things. One, that there is a treasure buried somewhere inside the mansion, and two, the old lady is the great grandmother of Sarkar who was cursed when she got too close to the treasure. The next day, Sarkar dies. The lady feels that there is nothing left for her in Tumbad and plans to move out to Pune to start a new life. But Vinayak suggests her to stay and search for the treasure in the mansion. Right then, Vinayak's younger brother, who is playing on a tree, has a fall and injures his head. The lady rushes to the nearby city for medical care, leaving Vinayak alone at the cottage. Vinayak attempts to wake the old lady and ask her about the treasure, but his plan backfires when the old lady attacks him and tries to eat him. He somehow manages to escape. By the night, the lady returns with the news that Vinayak's brother is dead. They leave Tumbad that very night, leaving the old lady to rot in the cottage. The story then shifts to chapter 2, 15 years later. Vinayak returns to Tumbad and visits the cottage to find the old lady alive and fused into a tree-like structure. She's tired of living and wishes death. He offers a deal that if she tells him about the treasure, he would burn her body and set her free. She agrees. Vinayak goes to the mansion and explores for a month to find the treasure. Note that at this point in the movie, we only know that he has found the treasure, but we haven't seen it. Now that he has found the treasure, he burns down the cottage, setting the old lady free. He returns to Pune to his wife. We come to learn that he is buried in financial debts, so he uses the gold coins from the treasure to pay back his loans. He furthermore offers the moneylender to encash the gold coins. Thereafter, he starts making frequent trips to Tumbad and returns with a few gold coins. Remember that we still haven't seen the treasure or how exactly Vinayak gets those coins. He sells those coins to the moneylender, who starts to grow suspicious about Vinayak's wealth. Well, some people just can't keep a low profile. The moneylender is now running out of money to buy the gold coins. He also has to pay a hefty bribe to a corrupt British officer to obtain permit for opium business. So he turns up to Vinayak's home for financial help. But Vinayak isn't home. Through casual conversation with Vinayak's wife, he learns that Vinayak has been visiting Tumbad frequently, but even the wife doesn't know where the gold coins come from. She assumes that it's through some kind of business. The moneylender recalls hearing rumors about the treasure in Tumbad's mansion and connects the dots. Soon, the British officer approaches the moneylender and informs that his transfer has been preponed and gives him 2 days' time to pay the bribe. With no other options left, the moneylender decides to visit Tumbad's mansion but doesn't want Vinayak to find out. So he brings a girl to Vinayak's home as maid, whom he has secretly asked to seduce Vinayak and keep him occupied for the next 2 days. But Vinayak soon understands the moneylender's plan and follows him to Tumbad. He pretends to be unaware of the moneylender's presence. He enters a well with a lunchbox and returns back with a few gold coins. The moneylender follows the same steps, and that's when, for the first time in the movie, we see the location of the treasure, which resembles the inside of a spear colored in red. The moneylender finds the lunchbox which Vinayak had carried inside and opens it to find a doll-shaped wheat dough. Right then, something attacks the moneylender and his body is deformed with a curse fused into the wall, similar to that of the old lady we saw in the start of the movie. The next scene is the highlight of the movie where we see how Vinayak collects the gold coins. We see him climbing down the well with another lunchbox. He uses wheat flour to draw some kind of a safety circle around him and pulls out the doll-shaped dough out of the lunchbox, and boom, Hastar appears. Yes, the same Hastar, that greedy god who stole the wealth from the goddess. Since Hastar is cursed to be deprived of food, he's both hungry and scared of it. That's why Hastar couldn't cross a line drawn out of wheat flour but appears out of hunger whenever he sees a wheat dough. Vinayak throws the dough out of the circle, and while Hastar is busy eating, he pulls Hastar's fanny pack and gold coins start pouring out of it. He collects a few coins and quickly gets out of there. Now we know where he gets his gold coins from. Cut to final chapter 1947, when India has finally got its independence. Vinayak has grown old and he's getting weaker. We see his son practicing to collect gold coins from Hastar's fanny pack. Soon, Vinayak takes his son to Tumbad and tells him all the rules on their way. He also teaches to make dough but instructs not to bring it inside. As it's the first time for his son, he just wants him to practice. But kids being kids, his son hides the dough in the vest and brings it inside. And surprise, surprise, Hastar appears. They throw the dough and make a run for their life. But the son is so greedy that he attempts to collect a few gold coins before leaving. Once they get out, Vinayak beats the shit out of his son for pulling such a reckless stunt. Back in Pune, Vinayak gets the news that all unregistered lands and mansions will now be owned by the government of India, including the mansion of Tumbad. He wants to buy the mansion now, but it seems to be a complicated process. Meanwhile, his son suggests an idea that they could buy more time with Hastar by making many doughs and throwing it at him one after another. While he would be busy eating, they could snatch the fanny pack itself, which is an infinite source of wealth. Then they would never have to go back to Tumbad. Vinayak finds the idea pleasing and they set out for Tumbad to execute the plan. They are fully prepared and make many doughs. And as usual, we have to note that they draw a flower circle outside the well and then get inside and draw another circle around them. Now, it's time to lure Hastar, but here comes the twist. For every dough exposed, there appears one Hastar. The place is filled with Hastars crawling around. Though Vinayak and his son are safe within the flower circle, they just don't have enough doughs to feed all Hastars and climb out safely. So Vinayak decides to sacrifice himself for his son. He ties all the doughs around his body and starts climbing. All Hastars follow him while his son is safe down within the circle. Vinayak lures the Hastars outside the well, and remember, there is another flower circle drawn outside the well, crossing which all Hastars shatter into dust. Now the son climbs out of the well, and right when he is about to leave, he sees the deformed body of Vinayak, who has been cursed but has somehow managed to snatch Hastar's fanny pack. He wants the son to have it, but the son refuses to take it, realizing that greed has costed him his father. He doesn't want Vinayak to suffer the curse, so he burns his body and leaves.